Aloha listeners and welcome to another episode of the Cape and Cowcast, the podcast for everything superhero and all that's awesome in between. I'm your host Alex Burns and I'm joined with my co-host Stephen Carter.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
It's going well, thank you.
You having a good week?
I've had a pretty good week, yeah.
What's been up to?
Training for my new job.
He's training for his new job, guys and gals. So you're training for this new role, You're staying over in Bedford?
Bedford, yeah.
Bedford. It's a beautiful location. You know, but it's tough being away from the family, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's definitely the toughest part for it, to be honest. And obviously seeing the Facebook updates and everything, I was like, gosh, I wish I was home.
Yeah, so Steve's got a new baby.
Yeah,
a new baby. Evie, how old is she now?
Fresh off the internet.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say. How old is she now?
She's 5 months now.
5 months, crikey! It seemed like yesterday. As he came round, she was the smallest baby I've ever held.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how much she's come on. She's super cute, guys. But yeah, I mean, we'll get down to business. I've had a great week. Part of my week was Deadpool.
Yeah.
You know, so Valentine's Day weekend took Becky. We had a nice meal out, and then went to see that. And it was crazy how jam packed the theatre was with couples in a sort of similar vein. And I think we're going to get on that today, guys. So that's the main topic. Deadpool. We're going in deep with our sort of analysis on the movie, what we thought, and also what this means for the future of sort of superhero genre, because it's making a bucket load of money.
Oh yeah,
so much money, and we said this in our video up on YouTube. There's going to be people taking note of just how much money this movie's making. So expect some very Deadpool-esque manoeuvres by film studios in the next following years. But first we'll kick it off with our Cape and Cow picks of the week. So these are sort of the fun stories that we've seen, we've reported on the site, and just that these are the ones we're excited to sort of to bring you, the ones you guys have been clicking on the most on the site. And of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah,
the new first sort of kind of official, first official image reveal for these guys. I'd love it if it was a teaser trailer, but I mean, we're looking at it here, and it's giving nothing away. But
no,
yeah,
I mean that doesn't even really confirm if
who
it's the returning cast or anything.
Well, no, it definitely is. So we've got Chris Pratt back. We've got Zoe Salandana or whatever. She's coming back. Bradley Cooper's back as Rocket. Drax is back as well, and of course Vin Diesel as Groot. So we're just. It's probably my favourite Marvel movie. Where do you stand on Guardians?
Well, yeah, up until Deadpool came
out.
Oh
gosh,
but Guardians was a great leap forward.
Yeah,
I think the only concern that I have now is that people have expectations now for this film. It's a similar way for Deadpool as well, but more so for this one now because everyone's knows how awesome the last one was.
True.
So yeah, I'm not quietly optimistic about this one.
James Gunn is back directing, and it's when's it out? Let's have a look. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is slated to hit US theatres, and I presume us a couple of days before. Here in the UK, we tend to get these movies a couple of days before the States. It's weird. May the 5th, 2017. So we've got a while yet before. We've got plenty to enjoy in the meantime. But I just love it, and of course, the biggest sort of the biggest sort of hint from that picture that we see is a tiny baby Groot on Drax's shoulder. So. We know he's back and he's growing slowly. So
it's obviously not. Yeah. It's not happening long after the first film.
No, yeah. I mean, they're picking up where they left off because they joined the Nova Corps and all that sort of stuff. And just looking forward to seeing Chris Pratt back as Star-Lord, and of course the confirmation that Kurt Russell is joining the cast. So the Star-Lord's dad. It just screams at you, doesn't it? Unless he's a bad guy or something like that. But
Star-Lord's dad could be a bad guy.
There you go. It's I am your father moment. It's all coming back. And of course, another big deal was the Star Wars Episode 8 announcement video that was revealed. So we actually got our first look at filming for this movie. They went back to that little island in Scotland or whatever, the bird sanctuary. And there's Mark Hamill looking suitably grizzled as chiseled.
Oh no, that's the wrong letter.
You weirdo.
No, it means it's worked out already.
He's looking grizzled. He's looking galaxy weary.
Yeah,
and
force weary.
He's tired of the Force. he's attuned to the Force. And of course, I think at the end of Force Awakens, guys, spoilers. Luke Skywalker turns up. Rey shows him the lightsaber, and it's as if the lightsaber is telling him the events of everything that's just happened, and also Rey being there is sort of communicating all these things, because it seemed like he had no idea what was going on. Otherwise, you'd have assumed he might have taken some kind of action to help out. But yeah, just great to see these guys are getting off the mark with this one. Are you excited for episode 8 after episode 7?
Yeah, but beyond anything at the moment.
I'm glad they pushed it back.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's probably a good thing. It could only mean a good thing, really.
Well, and plus you want this sort of stuff to last, right? You don't want it to be over in 4 or 5 years. It's crazy. We're into Marvel Phase 3. I almost feel like they benefit from taking a little bit slower. Cause
exactly.
2008 that started, and we're only like 7 years later. But
we're already being treated to one Star Wars film per year at the moment.
We've got Rogue One this year.
Yep, exactly. And come to think of it, actually, they were filming just around the corner from where I'm training
for Rogue One.
Yeah.
Oh, in Bedford.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go, guys. Did you see anything? No. Just here.
Super secretive. Yeah.
Didn't see Felicity Jones, because then I would be jealous. She's just so beautiful. But yeah, Star Wars Episode 8, guys. It's now been pushed back to December 15th, 2017. And, Star Wars is going to be owning Christmas for the foreseeable future, which is better than an X Factor single or any kind of that rubbish. So, yeah, really excited for Star Wars, man. But, I mean, let's keep... It's been a busy week, man. There's been so much that's come out. So
it's coming out the woodwork.
Oh, geez, man. We're just lucky, man. Of course, the Game of Thrones Season 6 trailer released. There's a lot of buzz about that. Really not giving much away other than the fact that they kill everyone in that show. So, you guys can look forward to more... of your favourite characters dying, basically. I mean, we'll get on to sort of the big sort of... We wanted to do a whole sort of vid on this one, but with Deadpool coming in, we thought we'd give the props to that because it's done a great job. But Daredevil, Season 2 trailer revealed for Netflix. Yeah. Deal me, Steve. What's the deal?
Well, yeah, it's looking gritty at the moment. There's this whole sort of moral thing about what a hero should be and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's two different ideals gunning for the same sort of outcome, really. Yeah,
Punisher being introduced, John Bernthal from The Walking Dead, guys, so playing a similar role to the psychopathic Shane in the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead. He's coming in here as the Punisher, aka Frank Castle, man on a mission here, taking the law into his own hands, like Daredevil, but unlike Daredevil, shooting everyone. Putting an end to them. I mean, are you looking forward to seeing that kind of hero on screen?
Yeah. Well, no,
hero, anti-hero.
Exactly, yeah. Well, vigilante or whatever you want to call it, yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's just that sort of whole different style of them sort of bouncing off each other. Like I said before in the video, prior to this, we had the look was a bit weird for me. Like I said, I preferred the look
Punisher's look.
Yeah, from Punisher's look. I preferred the look for in Warzone. I know that Punisher Warzone was an awful film,
right?
but like I say, the look was there, the imagery was there. So I would like to see sort of an older Punisher.
Is that an important part of the character? I mean, of course, the costume's always iconic for a hero, and the Punisher does have the trench coat and white skull, sort of. That's his look. I mean, and you're not seeing that with John Bernthal. He very much looks like a Marine Corps sort of soldier, and
I would say that, yeah, but going for an ex-Marine, it's not very tactile to have a leather coat and
of course,
a skull face and
no, man, it's the most tactile thing you could possibly do. I mean, it's like the no capes rule. It's in there with the no leather jacket rule. Get that sort of, yeah. But I mean, it would just be fantastic to see, and of course we know the cast for this series is just so impressive, man. Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, Daredevil, he continues to impress. Another British actor doing the business abroad. It's great to see, and
British invasion,
and doing it again, man, doing it again,
yeah.
And I mean, John Bernthal, as I say, just incredible, and of course we've got Elodie Young as Elektra. I mean, she's a character in need of redemption after the Jennifer Garner performance.
Oh yeah,
yeah. In the first Daredevil with Ben Affleck.
Well, that for me again, they got the look spot on now. Yeah. She looks more badass. She looks like she's got that hint of evil.
Yeah.
Whereas Jennifer Garner was just a pretty face.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a bad movie. I mean, but what's interesting, I remember watching like the special features on that Daredevil DVD when it came out, because I don't know, it's just one of those films you kind of watched a lot. Like, it didn't flop at the box office, and it came across as quite adult. I mean, when did it come out? 2000, something like that.
2001, I think.
Yeah, something just after Spider-Man, maybe before. I'm not sure. But I was 11 when that movie came out, so it was kind of cool to me because it was kind of like, a crappy cutscene from a video game. That film. It was just the first time we'd seen Daredevil. It was a bit of a Batman thing going on. I did like Michael Clarke Duncan as Kingpin in terms of I thought it was an inspired casting choice for him in that movie. But
they just went for the biggest guy they possibly could, the most physically intimidating guy.
So good, and rest in peace, man. It's crazy that he's not around anymore. But
I know,
unbelievable sort of Daredevil. Of course, we're lucky now. We've got the hindsight of the comic book movie. You can go in there and tell a dark and gritty story. I think it's benefiting a lot from the Dark Knight movies, and it does feel like Marvel's Dark Knight. When you're looking at it, we mentioned before as well, the Punisher seems to be a reaction to Daredevil's presence on the scene, in a similar way that the Joker came out of the woods when Batman appeared on the scene. He says, "I can't exist without you," sort of thing. It's the what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. It's crazy. So I'm just looking forward to seeing that explored, that kind of relationship explored over 11 episodes. It'd be fantastic. We know Netflix. Jessica Jones was amazing. Check out our review of that on the site as well. We go into a lot of detail on that, and our video on the YouTube channel, Cape and Cowl Unlimited. But I'm just plugging us away, man. God do it. No one else is, but we're super excited for it. And just more of the same, please, because that first season was fantastic. And after Kingpin, it will be great to see Frank Castle getting a shot.
I think this is the evolution of R-rated superheroes.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
They seem to be sort of going into the more adult thing. Like I say, Daredevil was the start of that, and obviously,
they get a lot of freedom with that as well. I mean, okay, guys, so the season 2 of Marvel's Daredevil on Netflix is available to stream on the Netflix service from March 18th. So they did move it back. They were going to release it on March 25th, apparently, which is when Batman vs Superman's out. But I think they're respecting that people have lives to lead outside of these things, so they're helping you make it a bit less of a harsh choice. And also, in case you were wondering, here in the UK, the Flash and Arrow, it's back this week. So we're a couple of weeks behind on the States. If you're in the know like me, you're probably watching it already. But it'll be great to see it, on legalized TV and stuff like that. So it'll be great to see the return of Zoom, of course, in that as well. And Arrow is stepping up big time after the big cliffhanger involving Felicity Smoke, Arrow's spouse. So just looking forward to more DC TV. And Legends of Tomorrow also is hitting Sky One early in March. So we're looking forward to that as well. It's going to be big. But on to our main topic. Before we do that, let's jam. Alright guys, and we're back here. It's on to our main topic. It's on to the freaking Deadpool movie that just came out. This thing is lighting up cash registers across the globe. It's making a bucket load of money. It costs nothing to make. It's R-rated. It's
doing a merry jig right now, aren't they?
That's unbelievable.
Well, Fox anyway, at least.
I mean, you got to credit them. Whatever you think of the movie, guys, bad or good. Mostly good, I think. It's done a really good job. Let's start with the marketing campaign on this bad boy, because we've touched on it before in previous episodes, but it just kind of hit every niche. There was the football ad, there was the Valentine's Day sort of adverts. I've seen him mix in on so many different talk shows. We talked about him chopping the head off of Mario Lopez before. It's not Mario Lopez, is it? That's not his name. It's AC Slater or something from Saved by the Bell. I can't remember, but anyway, it's in there, and it's just awesome. It's just good to see a good marketing campaign pay off.
Yeah. Well, I think it just pays to show that if a company genuinely loves the subject of what they're trying to get across, that's how it pays off. Yeah. Like I said, they had a very modest budget when they did this, but they used every penny productively. That's probably why it was more of an online campaign than anything else, because obviously, it's probably cheaper to get it out there. Yeah. But it worked, and it's an online world now, isn't it? There's so many people doing Netflix and watching YouTube and stuff like that, and that's where they're finding all of this stuff.
It was brilliant. It was social media advertising showing its prowess, showing what can be accomplished when it's done well, because I was seeing it popping all over the show, and they normally do the whole like, oh, if you Googled this, it'll come up in the newsfeed. No, man, I wasn't researching Deadpool. You were doing all the articles on Deadpool on the site, so it wasn't cropping up in my browser or anything like that. So really interesting to see how it pays off, because I saw the Man United video straight away. But I mean, again, it was targeting me through my niche. So it was like, okay, so I'm into football. It got me through the football, and that's how I actually saw the first marketing, as opposed to us reporting on the site. It was organic. They call it organic sort of clicks, where it will just come up naturally. But still a job. I mean, everything was funny. You had him dressing up as like a Mexican with the sombrero and the. Oh,
that was Australia Day. So he had the.
Oh no, there was two. There was two. There was the Australia Day thing with the corks.
Yeah.
And also for Comic-Con, his big reveal, he had the whole "Take Me to America" thing.
Oh yeah.
When he was trying to hitch a ride in a what are they called when you pull them over them?
Some poncho.
Poncho. Yeah. I've got a couple of those. Do you remember that Mexican party?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was good times. Yeah. But I mean, just a stellar job. And then onto the actual film itself, it's just a triumph of endeavour. It's been in development for over a decade.
Yeah.
Incredible. Ryan Reynolds, props. Give you a clap there, man, because you've done well considering your CV of late. I've talked about this at length many times. It's not impressed me.
You weren't a fan.
I'm still bitter over Green Lantern. I know it wasn't his fault. No. I know that movie wasn't his entirely his fault, but I mean, he's done well. He's done well here.
Yeah, no, it's done superbly well. Again, it's just testament to the fact that the studio loved the character, he loves the character, and when something it just pays off dividends when something like that comes together like that. It's just a pure team effort. He campaigned for a hell of a long time on this, didn't he?
Yeah, it just feels like we've been talking about it for ages, like kind of like, nah, it's never getting made. It's one of those sort of passion projects that you just think, it was kind of like Ant-Man, right? You heard about so much in that movie. Like, it was being talked about when the first Iron Man came out. That's how long ago Ant-Man's been in development. And it just felt like it was never going to happen. Like, you weren't going to see this movie. It was just going to be scuppered. But it's great to see it come to... And, the important thing is, my opinion on the film is mixed overall. But Deadpool, if you're a fan of that character, and more importantly, if you're just a casual cinema goer, the response is really positive. It's overwhelming.
I'd say you don't have to be a Deadpool fan.
Yeah.
Granted, there's one or two jokes that probably will go over your head. There was a couple of that I noticed that again you didn't pick up on, which it's mainly to do with the cameos and things like that. There's one in particular that I really loved, and it was the inclusion of Bob, which in the people in the comics know Bob is an agent of Hydra, and he's a long time sort of lackey / friend of Deadpool, who seems to get the raw end of the stick. Is kind of like someone who's Deadpool seems to sort of either like, or somebody tortures the next or something like that.
Right, okay.
It's that kind of thing. And you got a bit of that at the end, and it's brilliant. It's just that sort of thing. And again, they played it off in such a way that you didn't have to know the comics. It was still funny even if you didn't know. Like I say, he just met someone random called Bob that he happened to know before, and he knocks him out.
Well, I like that he spared him, because of course, spoilers, guys, if you don't know by now, we're dealing with spoilers. He's fighting all these soldiers.
It's been long enough now.
Yeah, he's fighting all these soldiers. He destroys them, decapitates them, shoots them, crotch chops them, whatever.
Yeah.
And he comes across Bob, and it's quite a nice moment. It just came, but they played it in a way where it was just a good joke.
Yeah.
For everyone else who aren't in the know. And I didn't pick up on it. There was so much. I think it will benefit from a second view, and I haven't seen it again since. I just loved all the interactions he had with his sort of blind landlady.
Weird Al.
They were fantastic. The IKEA, when they were talking about the type of furniture, the brand, they give you. We've got some downstairs, Brusali, and they're mentioning stuff like that. It's just, it was just great. I think that really connects with an audience when they're tapping into just general humour and not everything's an in-joke. I like the Deadpool action figure that he had as he pulled that off, and there was, it was meta. The movie really hit those meta notes well, with Ryan Reynolds actually appearing, on the magazine, and almost kind of, when someone gives themselves a backhanded compliment. You know, when he's appearing on the 100 sexiest males. Or, yeah. But it's funny like that, you know. I like that it was the baby hand for me was probably one of the funniest things.
Yeah.
He gets his hand chopped off and the little baby hand that sort of... Apparently that was a real baby hand as well.
Really?
Well, I imagine
How?
I don't know. I don't think they dressed it up as Deadpool, but probably for the real motion capture, they got a baby hand to go like this. So... Creepy, man. But that probably got the biggest laugh out. It's so gross. But again, that was a response from Colossus's impact on the movie and Megasonic Teenage Warhead as well. Yeah. The two X-Men that appear in the film, you know, one is a big name, really. Colossus has been in some of the biggest X-Men movies, and hit and miss there for you. Elaborate more on would you have liked to see more X-Men?
Well, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? To be honest.
Did you need any?
No, I think it would be good because he's always been heavily in. He's a mutant after all, isn't he? And they were playing on that, weren't they, when they were trying to sort of evoke his mutant powers under great stress, which is, as we know, in the comic world, how that happens. And I mean, who wouldn't want to see, you know, Cyclops pop up or something like that? Or in particular, I mean, to be honest, I think the one that everyone was hoping for was Wolverine.
Yeah.
Again, I was hoping for a very subtle reference, and I'm so glad that I got it.
Yeah. As
well. I mean, it wasn't even him as Wolverine or anything like that. They just referenced him as Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
And that was perfect for me.
Yeah.
That I just love that you know, the whole reveal at the end where he's wearing
presumably Hugh Jackman had to give the okay on that, right? Because that's a likeness. You know,
I would have said so. Yeah,
like he would have had to sign some kind of paper that said, "I'm not going to come after you."
Yeah,
you know, because it's a light. You know, he cuts out a picture of his face, puts it under his mask. It's very funny, and also the mention at the beginning when he's on the bridge. You know, he's got a tidy pair of knackers or something like that. You know, in the Australian accent. So yeah, you were happy with that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted from that film. I didn't want him. I mean, I did mention that. Yeah, it would have been funny if his character turned up and it's like just an off-camera shot or something like that. He wasn't even aware he's there.
It would have been great if he was in the bar, just sat in the bar.
Yeah,
that would have been perfect, wouldn't it? Could you imagine if he was just sat in the bar smoking?
Yeah,
or sort of raised his eyebrow when all that fighting was going on in the bar. He should have totally done that. He should have done that.
There was a little bit where he was. I think he was in the urinal at one point or something like that, and I was watching very carefully the one person that entered in. And I thought I was hoping it would be him, but yeah.
For me, you know, I got quite happy with, you know, overall happy with the pacing of the movie, everything like that. I do feel they went back to the bridge too many times, but I think that was just, it was showing its budget. They'd obviously filmed a big sequence there, and you know,
I think that's a big money shot there. To be honest, I think that's where most of the budget.
Yeah, when you were still on the bridge, like almost 3/4 into the movie, I was kind of like, okay, guys, let's move away from the bridge now, you know, because it's not a long movie, but it did feel quite long to me because they kept going back to the bridge. They had some overindulgent flashbacks. You know, I know it was important to establish Monica Baccarin's character.
Establish the love story.
Yeah, because you know it's the crux of the character. You know, one thing I will say is sort of meta as Deadpool was, anti-hero as Deadpool was. When, you know, the damsel's in distress, he starts acting like every other superhero. Yeah. You know, so that kind of went against it. I was half expecting at the end his love interest character to say no. Because he just, you know, he looked disgusting, you know. It was like a scrunched up pancake, you know, on his, you know. And I just kind of was thinking, if she'd have said no, like at the end, this is too much for me. Yeah, I'd have been perfectly on board with that and okay with that decision, and I think the audience would have as well. You know, because the film had played it so off the cuff.
Depends on. I'd say it depends on his reaction. Like if he went all, you know, GTA 3 where he just kills her or something like that at the end, then that would have been a great thing. But again,
But I mean that sort of backs you into a corner in the sequel, right? You know, which you presumably be getting. Ryan Reynolds, I think he's already said he's not in a rush to go back to Deadpool, which almost seems ungrateful. But I don't know. Like, what do you think? Where do they go with the sequel?
Well, you can see where he's coming from. It's similar to Ricky Gervais's view on The Office and things like that. He don't want to have too much of a good thing.
Oh, to jump straight back in. You know, no one wants a decade-long gap though.
No. Because I can imagine 2 or 3 year gap. I don't want them to sort of end up going all Marvel on this ass, and then we see a Deadpool movie every year or something like that.
Oversaturation will kill the industry.
Yeah.
It will kill the comic book industry. You know,
we know that day's coming. But
we're reaching crisis point.
Yeah,
just because not in a sort of all these movies are rubbish, but the rate they're coming out at, you'll start to see a drop in box office gross. It will happen.
Oh yeah,
you know, it could well happen with Batman v Superman. To be honest, there might not be room for those movies in there, but we'll come to that in a bit anyway. But in terms of Deadpool, it's having a positive effect on the box office. You know, in terms of this movie was like 50 million or whatever,
40 million at the moment.
Something.
Yeah, just over.
And it's made how much? It's made freaking 150
odd. 400 million, isn't it?
Whoa, 400 million worldwide. Let's check this out. Okay, so I'm just getting the details.
Oh, no.
Okay, so Deadpool is actually the highest grossing X-Men movie of all time. If you can call it an X-Men movie. Very well.
There's enough.
There's X-Men in there, but come on, man. Okay, so taking the top spot at the US box office for the third weekend in a row.
Yeah.
So the domestic haul for this is $235 million, which is fantastic. Anything above $100 million would have been a win for this movie, considering its budget. And you know, it's having a similar effect overseas as well.
Yeah, that's it. 459.
Woo! So this is the day of recording, guys. So this is my 21st of February. I'm bringing you these numbers. It's beaten X-Men: The Last Stand. You know, I don't know if it will get to. I know it's beating the X-Men movies domestically overseas, but I think Days of Future Past made something like $700 million plus. So there's plenty of time for it to get there. It depends on the drop off if it has its legs, you know. So because there's big competition coming in the way of not just.
They got Batman. Apocalypse anyway.
Yeah,
haven't
you know, I mean, it's not going to still be in the theatres in June. Do you reckon?
No.
Do you reckon that movie will open bigger? X-Men Apocalypse.
Again, it depends on how the ad campaign goes really at the moment.
Yeah.
If it falls short, then yeah.
I just feel like Deadpool tapped into, because of course it was half term over here, guys, as well in the UK. I don't know how the holidays lined up overseas, but it's done great business here. And you know, Valentine's Day weekend was the start of the half term school holidays over here, so. Yeah, the kids were off basically, and it was, even though it was R-rated for you chaps across the Atlantic, it was only a 15.
It's only a 15 set, yeah.
So you know, got a thicker skin over here, guys. You know, you guys need to chill out a bit. You know, R-rated is ridiculous. I honestly think it was the sex in that movie that put it over.
Yeah.
You know, I think if they'd taken out some of the montage of sex, which was great fun and hilarious, if they'd taken or toned it down a little bit. Yeah. It would have been a 12A over here, because it's not the violence. I don't think you get worse violence in a video game, and they're sort of universal. So
yeah,
you know, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. You know, and of course, it champions it even more. It's an R-rated movie, and it's making more than the PG-13 X-Men films. So big BFD, man, big deal on that one. So super happy with that, man, guys. But again, of course, talking more on Deadpool's effect going into the rest of Hollywood, it looks like Wolverine. Could be getting an R-rated.
They're considering Wolverine as an R-rated, which again I think they should have done from the start. To be honest, again, Wolverine's not a nice character. He's essentially Deadpool, but without this sense of humour.
No, but he's nice, man.
No,
I know he's got the edge to him. I know he can murder people.
Look what he says there. He's the best at what he does, but he's not. What he does isn't very nice.
No, that's true. I mean, it's horrible. He stabs people with his claws that grow out of his hands. But I just, you know, I feel like it depends what book you're reading, I suppose, because you have the mega violent Wolverine, but then you also have, you know, the astonishing X-Men Wolverine, you know, which is like he's got a real moral centre to him, and it ends up Cyclops is the weird psychopath and Wolverine's the sane sort of everyman. So it really does depend on who's writing him. You know, Frank Miller put him in quite a positive light as the heroic sort of loner with those stories set in Japan. Yeah. And, you know, that's what you kind of got in the previous, the Wolverine. You had the lone one. He's quite a nomadic character. The whole fact that he's in the X-Men is quite a play, because it seems against character. But it's that Batman thing. It's like, he's the ultimate loner, but why does he surround himself with so many people?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, an R-rated Wolverine movie sounds...
interesting.
I feel like we've got enough violent Wolverine, though. I know you're but I feel I've seen enough. I don't feel like I need to see him gouge someone in the way Deadpool does to make it a better movie. I feel like they just need to tell a better story, and you know, maybe play it down some of the stuff, because with the Wolverine, the fighting on the train, the fighting against the giant samurai robot, it just, you know, bring it a bit more humble. X-Men 2 had like everything you'd want out of an X-Men a Wolverine fight scene. When he's fighting Lady Deathstrike, that's like one of the best comic book fight scenes I've ever seen. They're stabbing the crap out of each other, man. They're like, there's that bit where she's got him tied up on his back and she's just stabbing into his back and everything like that. What more do you want out of a Wolverine fight scene? You see where I'm coming from?
No, I can see where you're coming from there. But yeah, just add a bit of gore in there.
Even more gore.
Everyone's
so
happy.
it came back to it, you just want more blood, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, if we're saying the R-rated reason is due to the sexual content, we could just be getting a Logan love scene that we haven't had before. No,
yeah.
You're not interested in that, no.
We've already seen his backside in Days of Future
you
Past. That's enough.
Yeah, that's down to... Yeah, we'll see, yeah. I didn't stare at it that long. My girlfriend sure did. But, I mean, it's just exciting. I mean, I hope Wolverine 3 finally is the movie that Hugh Jackman's happy with, because I don't think Origins was a failure. Wolverine was a step in the right direction in some respects, but then still some silly decisions.
Again, I still personally think that Fox is just trying to sort of meddle too much in it. I reckon that now that they're starting to take a step back in their films. So First Class was the turning point for me.
Yep.
When it came to it, because it started off with the original X-Men. It progressively got worse.
Yeah.
I mean, X-Men 2 was... Yeah,
X-Men 2 is like one of my favourite comic book movies.
They took a steep nosedive for X-Men 3.
It's such a shame. But you can blame that on Superman Returns.
You reckon?
Yeah, because I think if Bryan Singer was still at the helm for X-Men 3, none of the rubbish that happened in that movie would have happened. You know,
quite possibly.
He just went over and he jumped ship, basically, big time. It was sad.
Yeah.
Of course,
Superman Returns wasn't that great
well,
either.
I mean, do you know what? Superman Returns is good if you don't sort of remember that
if you miss the Christopher Reeve films.
If you're not watching it in 2006, then Superman Returns is a good movie. And you know, if Batman Begins hadn't just come out and revolutionised, you know, what a superhero movie needs to be, they just, you know, weren't taking any notice of how to reboot a movie when everyone was doing really good reboots. You know, after that you had like James Bond, and it was like a Bourne Identity sort of reaction. Like everything needs to be ultra realistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, Superman Returns, man. I've still got a bit of time for that film and just the romance of the character. I think it conveys that quite well, but it is too much of a nostalgia trip, yeah. But, I mean,
that's true.
It is exciting. What were we talking about before?
Deadpool, remember?
Deadpool. Yeah. So, guys, man,
only the main bit.
Yeah. Well, Deadpool is the hot topic, dudes. Steve's done a fantastic in-depth review on capeandcowl.co.uk if you want to get a bit more in the ins and outs of the story. You know, the Stan Lee cameo is well worth it. You know, it's not.
I did not expect him to turn up, to be honest, and he turns up in the most unorthodox way as
You'd
well.
never take your granddad there, would you? That's terrible.
But he was the DJ.
Maybe if it was on his bucket list or something like that. Oh dear, yeah, fantastic. I mean, you know, we just have to be happy with what we got basically, which is a true to the comics, true to the fans Deadpool movie. I have my reservations, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, but it really is nitpicking. You know, if you're a Deadpool fan, this ticked all the boxes, and I can completely understand the overwhelming praise for this film, even if it's not quite a masterpiece that everyone's claiming it to be.
I think it is.
Well, some people have been putting it in the same bracket as some of the best sort of comic book movies, and I'm not sure it's there. You know, I don't know if it will stand the test of time like the other movies.
Really?
Yeah, I just can't. It's hard to put it into words without sounding like just a douchebag. You know, you don't want to be one of those nitpickers, but I don't think there's enough there story-wise and sort of...
As an action and comedy, it's up there.
Great fun. I think it'll stand the test of time. And rainy day, let's put Deadpool on. You know, chimichanga time. You know, I think that's when it will come alive. You know, it's a good sort of movie in that respect. But yeah, I don't know if it will be making Empire's top 50 list anytime soon. But not many films do, man. Not many films do. I'm talking the very elite, like Avengers, The Dark Knight. You know, the pinnacle of sort of comic book movies. Are you disagreeing? Do you think it's up there with those two?
I think it could contend with them.
Oof, well, it's probably going to be a lot of people in agreement with you. But you know, that's part and parcel of the debate, right? You know, it keeps it going, man. And hey, who knows, man? Maybe Deadpool 2 will be even better and sort of answer some of those questions, because they'll definitely get the budget to do a bit more.
They said that they don't need it as well.
Just do it. make Colossus look a bit better, because I wasn't happy with his effect, man. I think in a couple of years that's going to look bad.
Yeah.
I think he's going to look really bad. I wasn't happy with Colossus in that movie. I wasn't happy with his stereotypical Russian sort of character that was borderline offensive. I know there was a lot that was offensive in that film, but he was too much of a... And it's a disservice to the character, because Colossus isn't like that in the comics, man. He's a very mature... He grew up like in America. He's not a broken English type of Russian sort of dude. So I mean, it'll be great. But yeah, well done to Deadpool. Well done to Deadpool.
Yes,
fantastic. Anything else on the agenda for today, or are we totally wrapped up? Anything else you want to sort of add, man?
Nothing that springs to mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been the double D week, man. Deadpool and Daredevil.
Yeah,
Marvel are bringing it back, man.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. That's the Eva talking. I've got a Eva mug filled with something. Guys, thank you for listening. This was the Cape and Cowl podcast number 2. Il numero duo. So, we're going to keep this going, try and make it a bit more of a weekly series for you guys. Check out capeandcowl.co.uk. We've got a special Star Wars episode that's come out as well with 2 new members of Team Cape and Cowl. So make sure you check that out. It's got yours truly hosting as usual. And, like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Say hello to the camera for those chaps working.
Hey.
There's an audience for that. We're excited. If Cape and Cowl's progressing, we are a year old as well. Like February. So...
It's going quickly.
It's going quickly, man, and we're looking forward to seeing how this place grows. We just want to give you the unfiltered everything superhero news without the fine bros trying to take our format away from us, those weirdos. By the way, we don't have the advertising because we're just not doing that. No. That's not why we're in it, guys. So enjoy this ad-free video. Hope the next video you watch after this isn't an ad-filled one. If it is, click back to our site and subscribe, because there's going to be more of this, man. You don't have to watch those ads. Anyway, I'm Alex Burns, Steve Carter. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
See you later.